Hi there, me again. Once again, we're thinking about the world around us, about how creation is calling us, how creation calls, how God speaks to us through the world around us and through the nature. This time we're thinking about rivers and water and how water just sustains life. I've just had a drink of water before I spoke to you because I wanted to quench my thirst. We're thinking about how God's Spirit flows just like water. And everything lives because of God and what God has done for us. Everything lives because water's there. These trees behind me, they live because of water. Without water, they would die. And just the same with the whole of life. We wouldn't cope. The world is made of water. So much water is here that without it, so many of us would suffer and die. So we're going to think about where God's Spirit lives, but where life begins with water. Just that very start, that elemental nature. We're going to think about how water is precious and how we waste water. We know that at the moment, don't we, because of all the hosepipe bans that have been going on and the lack of water because we've had so little rain. We need to learn to save water, but we need to learn to know that we can appreciate water and what God is offering us in our thoughts, in our words and our deeds this morning as we take time together to reflect. Did you know that nearly every major biblical event, turning points, happened besides water? Think about it. The Jordan, the Nile, the River Eden, the river from Eden, not the River Eden, that's in Northumberland, and the river flowing from God's temple. All these things come from God. Let's celebrate that.
Down by London's river. Down by London's river, chimes of clock, marking time, overlapping sounds of running water through pipes and channels, rivers and drains. Location affecting the sounds, lapping onto banks, thudding against boat sides, sounding sinister in enclosed spaces or storm. Cheerful and light-hearted over pebbles, foghorns calling, ships warning bells, associated sounds, mechanical, human, vehicular, birds shrieking, rope creaking as pulled in different directions, clank of chains, slapping of ropes against flagpoles, boats rocking and tumbling whilst at rest. Sounds blending harshly on the ear or pleasurably. Sounds of people but harsh in physical actual sound, harsh in the content, inner voices critical or approving. In all our experiencing and learning every day, do we hear you? Movement of water, of people, vehicles, boats. Water muddy brown one moment, sparkling another as weather changes. Smooth reflections, distorted reflections. Ripples in river constantly shifting and moving. Patterns made and remade every second. Swirling smooth patches, ridges sliding in and out on banks when calm, splashing vigorously when agitated and stirred, violent and destructive, depending on the stimulus each moment of the day. Gulls squabbling bring the seaside to mind. Elegant heron standing tall, surveying arrogantly his patch. Gracefulness and delicacy in the length of legs and movements. Solitary cormorant standing in stillness on wooden post in river, turning his head, checking what is going on. Black silhouettes against grey and white background of sky and buildings. Memorials to past events and people, trade, tragedy and pleasure, wartime and peacetime. Shadows and light chasing each other over the constantly moving surface of the waters, lit from lamps and buildings. Lapping sound of water connecting with bank, echoing the sound of the sea. Chimes of the hour coming up the river, heard just over traffic's noise. Light and shadows cast by moon and sun. Sounds of water swirling and brushing and shaping land masses, soundless without men and machines. Sound of wind breathing, creation coming into existence. Chaos responding to the touch of your hands. Master creator of all, delicately moulding, manoeuvring, playing, colouring the earth and sky. Daylight, no hint of darkness to come. Late afternoon daylight lingers, clouds white and grey, patches of blue, sky touched by violent flush of orange yellow, spreading out behind clock's tower, mirrored in ripples in the river. Swiftness of changes at the different parts of sky at different stages of colour and light changes, as daylight slowly retreats to make room for night. Almost see your hands controlling light levels. Finding new down by London's river. Standing on a bridge, see the city buildings, jumble of architectural styles and periods of history. Towns, villages within a city. Other stretches of river almost rural, less intensive buildings. Cows and fields and open spaces. Historic buildings where people led very different lives to us. Royalty, aristocracy, upper middle class, through the centuries and changing of society, presence of churches and chapels, cathedrals and groups meeting together in homes, you could be found down by London's river. Daylight or lamplight filtering through tree branches and railings, squares, rectangles, rounded windows, ornate lampstands, speak of home life, hospitals, surgeries and clinics, businesses, cafes, shops and places of leisure. surrounded by light, looking out for you and your light, finding you down by London's river.
Ezekiel 47, verses 1 to 12. Water flowing from the temple. Then he brought me back to the entrance of the temple. There, water was flowing from below the entryway of the temple towards the east, for the temple faced east, and the water was flowing down from below the south side of the temple, south of the altar. Then he brought me out by way of the north gate, and led me around on the outside to the outer gate that faces towards the east, and the water was trickling out on the south side. Going on eastwards with a cord in his hand, the man measured 1,000 cubits, and then led me through the water, and it was ankle deep. Again he measured 1,000, and led me through the water, and it was knee deep. Again he measured 1,000, and led me through the water, and it was up to the waist. Again he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not cross, for the water had risen. It was deep enough to swim in, a river that could not be crossed. He said to me, "Mortal, have you seen this?" Then he led me back along the bank of the river. As I came back, I saw on the bank of the river a great many trees on the one side and on the other. He said to me, "This water flows towards the eastern region and goes down into the Arabah. And when it enters the sea of stagnant waters, the water will become fresh. Wherever the river goes, every living creature that swims will live, and there will be very many fish once these waters reach there. It will become fresh, and everything will live where the river goes. People will stand fishing beside the sea, from En Gedi to En Eglaim. It will be a place for the spreading of nets. Its fish will be of a great many kinds, like the fish of the great sea. But its swamps and marshes will not become fresh. They are to be left for salt. On the banks, on both sides of the river, there will grow all kinds of trees for food. Their leaves will not wither, nor their fruit fail, but they will bear fresh fruit every month, because the water for them flows from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be food for food, and their leaves for healing.
I'm here on the River Thames with my brother-in-law, Margaret's brother David. So hi David.
Hello.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good, good. He's on holidays, so we've stolen his holiday for a few minutes. As you know, our theme is about rivers today. So we're thinking about what rivers can do and how we love them and what we like about them. And one of the things I like about riverbanks is the fact that there's no hills, usually anyway.
Okay.
Unless you have to go off path, so you don't have to do all that steep climbing. So it's quite nice,
Yeah,
really.
but sometimes you get a bit of a gorge, and I like climbing around the gorge bits.
Climbing a gorge, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
like
occasionally having to get into the water to get around bits. That's
yeah.
fun.
Okay.
But
That's
I wouldn't
usually-
take you.
No, you wouldn't, because I'm the one that stands there and says, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you don't
or
like
I
getting wet,
refuse.
really,
I
do
don't
you?
like getting wet, no. But there you go, I'm a wimp and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. So you like paddleboarding though, don't
I
you,
do,
as well?
yeah.
Yeah, tell us
Any,
about
any water sports. Really.
any water sports.
But paddleboarding is the most recent one.
Yeah, so what do you like about it?
The challenge.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a thing. The other thing is it's lovely and peaceful.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got the noise of a motor, and one of the things I like to do is get the paddle to go into the water and out without making a sound,
Okay.
and then you can hear all the nature around you. Yeah, I don't want to disturb the
So
nature,
it's a personal
so
challenge.
it's quiet,
Mm.
and you get to see bits of the river
Mm.
that you don't see when you're walking along the towpath
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So you come around some bends and you suddenly find, nothing. No one can see you.
Brilliant. Where do you particularly go paddleboarding then?
Well, I usually go on the Ouse. I'm trying to work my way along the Ouse. I've started at Bedford,
Yeah.
and I'm sort of do 5 or 6 miles along the river before I have to go back again. And then next time I come out, I do the next bit. So I work my way up to St Ives.
St Ives. So the Ouse goes, for those of us who are not sure about where the Ouse is, it's sort of
Well,
Bedford way, is it?
Bedford up to King's Lynn.
Oh, okay, so you're
So
heading
it's quite a long way.
Yeah,
I've still got a few more years to
yeah.
complete the rest
So,
of it.
so tell me, when you get your 5 miles up there, do you then have to paddle 5 miles
You
back?
do,
So
yes.
you've done 10 miles basically.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Standing on a board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's really windy or
Yeah.
there's a bit, some bits where you want to sort of kneel down, particularly if a boat comes past.
Okay.
Because the
Okay.
wake of the boat
Yeah.
tends to make the paddleboard
bit wobbly.
Bit wobbly.
So how often do you fall off
Oh, very rarely. I usually jump in if I'm.
in the need? Or
Yes.
Bit
Yeah. When it
loose,
gets really
yeah.
hot, it's lovely just to slide off the board into the
cool
water.
down. Yeah. One of the things about rivers is that they come from a source. They always have to
Yep.
start somewhere. And we know that the River Thames starts somewhere up in Oxfordshire way, and it's basically just a bubbly stream. But the thing is, the river has a source. It's a very tiny source, and sometimes it is just a little bubbling stream, and yet
Or a
everything. But so that travels, and then you think what it's like at the other end when it comes out at Tower Bridge and along there, and what a huge river it becomes. Does that give you any thoughts about your faith and how your faith is? Does it give you any images to think about?
Well, water in general does.
Yeah,
What do they talk about? The water of life.
they do.
And
yeah.
I think it's a really good symbol.
Yeah.
You know, when you take water, if you drop it on a hard surface,
Mhm.
it will spread itself out
Yeah.
and gradually find the cracks and things like that and seep in. Or if
Yeah.
you drop it on a soft surface,
Yeah.
that water is just soaked up by the soft surface. And
Yeah.
I always think that's a good metaphor for how the spirit can get into people's lives.
Well, just seep into little cracks.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're soft and
Yeah.
open, yes, it's going to soak up. But even if you're hard,
Yeah.
it will find a way.
Yeah. That's great. You're obviously familiar with Hounslow Church. You've been there and you know that, but you're not from there, are you? Your church is
No.
in Sandy. Tell us a bit about Sandy Church.
Well, Sandy's very different in a way that it's much smaller. I mean, the whole community's much smaller.
Yeah.
So we're typically talking about 15 to 20 people a week would
Yeah.
be coming.
Yeah.
But it's a very homely church, welcoming. Everyone says that comes in. I guess you can say that about most churches.
Yeah.
But because it's a small community, everybody does tend to know each other very well,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
feel at home.
Yeah.
Whereas I noticed in the big churches, not just Hounslow, but other big churches, it's much harder to
Yeah.
get to know one another. And
Yeah.
yes, you can get to know people by their name and you know, have a chat once a week. So, but actually becoming close friends is a little bit harder in a bigger church.
Yeah, and I think this sort of whole idea of the flowing river and the spirit flows in different ways in different places. You have little rivers, you have big rivers, you have small tributaries, but they all flow into the one great river that goes down, and it takes all sorts, if you like, to make a river, really.
It does. I mean, the interesting one with Sandy is we have the River Ivor goes through Sandy, but it connects us to several other churches along the Ivor. And actually there's 2 churches sort of 5 to 10 miles away who are joining together to call themselves Ivorside.
Yeah.
And they've chosen that name because it will allow them to expand to include other churches, if necessary, that are on the Ivor.
Yeah.
So it's a good choice of name.
It is a good choice of name.
My church is joining with 2 others, becoming a multi-site church.
Yeah.
Joining together with 2 other churches to become the Beacon Methodist Church. Now the name for that, apart from it being quite a good theological name, is that at the top of Sandy, actually almost behind our house, is a place called the Beacon.
Oh, okay.
And you can see that hill from the other 2 churches as well.
Yeah.
So the Beacon above our house is actually looking out over 3 communities that are all now linking together. We've been working together on this for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we become the Beacon Church in September.
Okay, fantastic, good. Well, we wish you all the best for that. That sounds like a wonderful thing to do and a lovely way to think about how God can work in different ways.
Absolutely.
And creative ways, again, like the river. It's different streams, different ways, different flowing, but it all comes together in the end. And that's great. And that's one of the good things about connectionalism and being part of a church that's worldwide, basically. The whole idea is that everything runs together with water, but what do you get from water?
Well, you get lakes, you get seas.
It also is a driving force, isn't it? More and more we're harnessing water and the power of water.
Yep.
We're going to be heading up to Scotland in a few weeks' time, and up near Pitlochry there's that amazing dam that comes down, and you can see that with the hydropower, the water. You're an engineer by trade, so or background. Tell us about power and what that means to you.
Power. Well, it's the thing that drives so much of what we do.
Yeah.
So apart from the power that we've got just running this video, and that provides electricity. But of course, your hydropower is turning water or kinetic energy into electricity. Now, I was thinking about power when we went to Ireland all those years ago, and we got caught in that riptide.
Oh yes, that was not a good experience.
That made us really appreciate the power of water and the sea currents and things like that.
Yeah, I swam like I've never swam before.
Or since.
No, quite. Yeah, that was quite an experience.
It was. Yes.
When you get caught in the power of the river and the wrong things, and that's why tragically there are so many accidents in rivers and in the sea and so on, and that is very sad when it's like that.
You've got to respect it.
You have. It's what it is. You can't stop it. It is there, and I guess that's also part of life, is learning to live with those difficult times as well as the joy and the beauty. It's also powerful, and we might be standing here now looking at the glory and the beauty of all the leaves on the trees, but in a blustery winter's day, when this tide, when the river is not tidal here, but when the river is going and the power is choppy and it's not very nice at all to be in, But that is, again, part of life. It's what it is.
I was doing a walk with Jane, that's my wife, a few weeks ago. We were walking along the Ouse that we mentioned earlier, and it was a bit windy, and a tree came down.
While you were there?
Right the way across the river, completely blocked the river. Well, not quite completely.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I tell a lie. We weren't walking. We were on our paddle boards.
Okay.
But we managed to just paddle around it. But it really was quite dramatic. And we did say, actually, could have been quite dangerous.
Yeah.
If we'd have been 100 yards or so further
Yeah,
on.
it would, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
very powerful.
I think the power of nature is definitely there. We've been thinking a lot about in this series about references to water in the Bible, and it's not without notice that all those key events happened with water. If you think about in the Old Testament, Moses and the people parting of the waters there to get through, and you go back into there's lots of other water references, but you go into the New Testament, you've got Jesus's baptism as the first thing that really set his ministry off, and Jesus's ministry was his first thing that set him off in the water, washing him clean, and that song that sung, "Wash me clean in the still waters, wash me my heart in the pure river," or something like that. I think I've got the words wrong, but that sort of thing, and that's the idea about the restorative power of water. There's nothing worse than getting to the end of a sweaty day and not being able to have a shower to wash it off, to wash the dirt off, or working in the garden or doing something that involves dirt, not being able to wash it off. And the idea about God washing us clean in all those sorts of things. Cleansing, absolutely, yes. And I guess, as you say, jumping in a hot day into the river off a paddleboard, not my thing, but I'm sure you love it. But the idea of that cleansing is really, really important. And I think for people who are watching this now, there's a sense in which we can be cleansed by God, whatever we've done. And that's the thing. Nothing is beyond God's power to forgive and to move on and to wash away the bad things in life. Doesn't always do it.
All the dirt of life.
All the dirt of life. Yeah, that's a good phrase. That's a good phrase. Yeah, wash away all the dirt of life. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like it. And I guess also the rivers provide life for so many other things as well.
Absolutely.
So it's not just us. We're not just the only people around. That you think about the life and the ecosystem around us. If you just look at the trees and the fact that they are still lush and green, and the water from that is soaking into the roots of the riverbank trees. Whereas go somewhere else, you'll find that the trees are already getting quite distressed with the lack of water at the moment this summer, and that makes a difference.
In my garden.
In your garden, yes. Yeah. We've just hose piped our garden for the last time, and I will tell you it's for the last time as the hose pipe ban comes in today.
We had ours a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so we're now down to buckets and anything we can do. But it's really important that we save water for that very reason. And one of the challenges that people are going to have is to try and see how to save water and to think that through. But yeah, water is hugely important. And you think of the wildlife that's here as well. This is it. The beauty around it's not just the river. It's everything else it supports,
and the bits you can't see.
And the bits you can't see, the bits down the bottom,
underneath.
Not
there.
Just the fish, but
that's one of the nice things about paddleboarding. When you're going along quietly, you can look down, and you can actually see the fish.
Yeah. So there you go. I think that's some really interesting thoughts to think about here. We've thought about the strength of the river, we've thought the power of the river, we've thought about how the river gives life, fills in the cracks, gets into those awful bits and washes away so much. We've thought about the life it gives to the ecosystem, the joy it gives to those people who enjoy it nicely and responsibly. Okay. Well, thank you, David, for your time and for coming and meeting me in this very beautiful spot. And I think it's time for us to go and have a cup of coffee now, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Made with coffee and water.
Yes.
So we needed to refresh ourselves. So thank you so much for your time and your willingness to come and talk about your life, your faith, and paddleboarding. The song goes, "River, wash over me, cleanse me, and make me new." I'm going to ask in this moment that we are quiet and still, wherever you are watching this. You could be anywhere. Even if you're walking through the supermarket, just stop and pause for a minute or two to think about how God can wash and cleanse you. Think about how it can make you new. And think about how the river of God flows never endingly, unceasingly. The river of God is there to refresh. And think about how your life is being refreshed by God and how you want it to be refreshed. And maybe pray for other people who aren't feeling refreshed at the moment, those that need our prayers. So in this moment of quiet, let's just spend a few minutes in prayer.
Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Hello, Pharaoh, to let my people go. So Moses went to Egypt land, let my people go. He made good Pharaoh understand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Hello, Pharaoh, to let my people go. Thus spoke the Lord, for Moses said, my people go. If not, I'll smite your firstborns dead. My people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Hello, Pharaoh, to let my people go. When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Hello,
So to your challenge for this week, I hope you got on all right last week by listening. This time is thinking about the water we have. Try and save however much water you can. You know, water is precious, we've learnt that, and water is so good. So let's see if we can have a week of saving it. You know, your dishwater that's there, could it be used for something else rather than tipping down the sink? The water you clean your teeth with, do you run the tap all the time? Do you really need to use half loads of washing and dishwashing and all that sort of thing? Can you save water? Consciously this week, think about what you can do to save water, and let me know how you get on. Let me know any top tips if you get any as well. That would be great to know, because God has given us water to give us life, and we want to sustain it and make it good. Have a blessed week.